Hi, my name is Jay from Amino Z, and today I'm doing a review on the Slim Secrets Bear Bar. It weighs in at 40 grams per bar, and they market it as their clean protein bar. So look, it's targeted towards females, but if you're a guy, it might be worth a look. Let's get into the details. Starting off with the ingredients, let's pull up the ingredients list. Onto your screen now, you can see what's in each of these bars. The first ingredient you'll see on the list is oligofructose, which is a natural prebiotic fiber. Look, this is the main contributor to fiber content within the bar, and it's what holds the bar together and gives it the texture that it has. As oligofructose is difficult for the body to digest, it does have a reduced calorie value. As this is a prebiotic, it helps in maintaining a healthy microbiome. Secondly, we have a protein blend, which is whey protein isolate, milk protein concentrate, and calcium caseinate. Now, all of these are very good quality proteins, and this is very rarely found in a protein bar, especially a protein bar marketed towards females. After the prebiotic and the protein, we've got a list of ingredients there that all contribute to the taste and texture of the bars. In here, we've got some almond paste, slivered almonds, fruit, flavoring, natural color, natural flavoring, stevia, and vitamin E. You'll notice that this is all very naturally based, so it's a really impressive lineup of natural ingredients, plus antioxidant from the vitamin E and some fruits and good quality nuts. Now look, there is one thing in the ingredients on the flip side, and that would be the cocoa butter. There's cocoa butter in all three flavors of these bars, and cocoa butter is a very high fat ingredient. It's almost 100% fat, and it's very high in saturated fat, being roughly about 60% saturated fat. Look, in total, it only constitutes about 4% of each of these bars, give or take, based on the flavor, but it's not an overly desirable ingredient. Besides that, the chocolate and the strawberry bars both have chocolate chips and white chocolate chips respectively. And the salted caramel and banana flavor has sugar-free salted caramel chips. Overall, there's very little to fault about the ingredients contained within these protein bars. It's marketed as a clean protein bar, and besides the cocoa butter and the chocolate and white chocolate chips, it is exactly that. So look, it's high protein, prebiotic fiber, it's all natural, there's some fruit in there, there's some almonds. It performs really well. Overall for the ingredients, we're giving this an 8 out of 10. Now on to the macronutrients. Overall, the macros in these bars come out fairly good. As the name suggests, Slim Secrets is marketed towards the weight loss category, and each of these bars comes in really well at under 140 calories each, between 127 and 137 calories, depending upon the flavor that you're taking. Now, each bar has 12 grams of protein, 4.4 to 6.3 grams of fat, and exceptionally low carbs at between 2.1 and 3.5 grams per bar. Although I did highlight the presence of cocoa butter previously in the ingredients, bear in mind that only a small percentage of the total weight is from cocoa butter. Consequently, each bar only has between 1.4 and 2.4 grams of saturated fat. However, on a percentage basis, these bars are up to 15.7% fat. That's the double rich chocolate flavor. And that is fairly high for the protein bar category. On the flip side, per 40 gram bar, the fat and fiber does keep you satisfied for quite a while. For a protein bar, it's fairly rare to see something that's so low in carbs and sugar, while being relatively high in protein with a moderate amount of fat per serve. These bars perform pretty well within the category, so they are getting an 8 out of 10 for the macronutrients. Now on to the label transparency. Let's start off with the good. First of all, it's great to see that on several of the ingredients on the ingredient listing, they've got percentages of how much of each ingredient is in there. You don't always see that. So that's a big plus. The other thing with these bars is they are free from any outlandish claims that you often see on nutritional supplements. It just states clean protein bar and gluten-free, and it's fairly modest. We also find on the ingredients that the protein blend is grouped into the 3 ingredients. And so we don't know how much of each protein there is within each respective bar. There is something that surprises me in terms of the transparency of the ingredients listing. Each of the flavors has either a chocolate chip, white chocolate chip, or the sugar-free salted caramel chips. But that's all that's stated. We don't actually know what is in these chips. It's worth noting there are statements below saying that there's a minimum amount of milk solids and cocoa solids in the milk and the white chocolate chips, but that's about it. So I think there's a little bit of a lack of transparency around those ingredients. I can say that overall, they've made an effort to be transparent by providing those additional percentages above the minimum requirement of what you need on a nutritional product. While the bars do state that they have nothing to hide, I certainly don't think that they are hiding anything, but I think there is room for improvement in the area of transparency. Overall, we're giving these a 3 out of 5 for label transparency. Now onto the directions and servings, and one bar is a single serve which weighs in at 40 grams. 40 grams is a typical bar weight for a low-calorie bar, and given how filling they are, I think it's more than adequate for a single serve. Overall, a 5 out of 5 here. Now onto the flavor options, and there are 3 flavors available. First of all, you've got the double choc, then you've got the salted caramel and banana, and the berries and cream. Now, there are 3 flavors available, and this is a fairly limited assortment for the protein bar category. Typically, protein bars do come in a few more than 3, but look, these rank in the top 47% of the protein bar category. So consequently, we get a 2 out of 5. Now let's look at the all-important taste. Beginning with the chocolate. The chocolate is like a dark chocolate. It's not overly sweet, and there is a nice almond undertone. So I think it's really well balanced with that nutty taste as well. And out of the 3 flavors, I'd say the chocolate is my favorite. It's certainly not a wow chocolate, but it's good. Next up, the berries and cream flavor. It's a bit sweeter, and there's a very strong initial strawberry taste. Then you get a bit of cranberries and almond, which balances the taste profile out a little bit. But I can't say much about the taste. Look, it's all right, but that strawberry taste I find is a little bit off-putting initially, and then it really lingers in your mouth after you finish the bar. Of the 3 flavors, I'd say that this one was my least favorite. And then finally onto the salted caramel and banana flavor. I think they balanced out the banana and the salted caramel fairly well. The salted caramel is a little bit stronger though, but it's not overpowering. I think overall, this is reasonably nice. The bar isn't overly sweet, and the almond lays a good foundation to the taste. Now, out of all 3 flavors, as I mentioned, the chocolate is my favorite. I can't say any of them are wow flavors, and I think the strawberries and cream could use a little bit of improvement. Overall, for the bar category, I'd say they're fairly average. They're not great, they're not bad, so we're giving this a 6 out of 10 for taste. Now onto the flavor rating consistency, and how consistently do our customers rate these bars per flavor? There's a difference of 20% between the top and the bottom flavors. So chocolate and the salted caramel and banana flavor both come in at 100%, whereas the berries and cream comes in at 80%, which is the equivalent of 4 out of 5. Now, the 20% variation in the scores ranks these bars in the bottom 26% of the protein bar category. As a result, it gets a 1 out of 5. Now onto the texture of these bars. And if you like those bars that have that prebiotic base, think about like Quest bars, then you're gonna like these bars. They're pretty chewy and they do stick to your teeth a little bit. So I'll just show you here. You can see here that it kind of reminds me of Play-Doh, this style of bar, which has become quite popular over the last few years. So I've just cut these bars and you can see what it's like. And you can see as I bend it, it sticks together and then eventually it breaks. So it's fairly moist, the bar. Now, if I show you a bar like close up and if I bend it, you can see how malleable it is. And that's the type of texture. It's not crunchy. It's very malleable. It reminds me of Play-Doh. The good thing about this texture is that they've added little bits of crunch into the bars, so it's not just that prebiotic base. And so you've got like almonds or caramel bits that do add a bit of crunch. It makes it a little bit more interesting. But at the same time, I can't really say that there's much of a standout with these bars in terms of texture. It's fine, there's nothing wrong with them, but they're not gonna blow your mind. Overall, 6 out of 10 for the texture. Moving on to the popularity of these bars, and they are quite popular amongst both females and surprisingly males also. I didn't quite mind them, and they do rank in the top 80% within the protein bar category. So overall, we've got a 4 out of 5. Next, on to the rate of purchase. And customers overall are fairly likely to repurchase these bars. Within the protein bar category, they rank within the top 27% in terms of likeliness to repurchase them a subsequent time after the initial purchase. So that yields a score of 7 out of 10. Next up with the user reviews, the average rating comes in at 89%, with the berries and cream flavour, as I previously mentioned, pulling the rating down quite substantially. This positions the bars within the bottom 26% of the protein bar category, and as a result we get a 3 out of 10. Now in terms of the packaging, each bar is individually packaged, and you'll see here it's a standard plastic foil wrapper. And then you get 12 bars within a cardboard box. Seeing as though every bar is an individual serve, there's no issues here, so a full 5 out of 5. Now in terms of the product contents, as you'll see on your screen, we weighed a random bar. A 40-gram bar came in at 45 grams, which is pretty amazing. You are getting exceptional value for money here, and they are exceeding the claim on the package. Full marks, 10 out of 10. Now in terms of the price range, these bars do come in at under $4 each, which is fairly typical for a weight loss bar around this weight. Look, frankly, there are a lot of junk protein bars out on the market, and you do have to value these bars slightly higher than the average bar because of their exceptionally clean makeup. Overall, I think these represent very good value in the market, so we're giving these an 8 out of 10. So to sum up, these bars perform well above average for the category. They're low calorie, high protein, high in prebiotic fiber, naturally sweetened, naturally flavored, naturally colored, and they've got added fruit and or almonds. Not to mention they're very low in carbohydrate and sugar. There are some issues in terms of the transparency, taste and texture, but it's an overall very clean bar as advertised, and it does represent very good value. These bars come out at a score of 70 out of 100.